Okay, Paul. How much is it hurting Jaylen Brown playing in Jason Tatum's shadow?
First off, I'd like to say he's right. He's right what he said in that interview, and I agree with him. I think he's one of the best two-way players in our game. I mean, when you talk about what he can do offensively and defensively, but as far as hurt, he's not hurting. Jaylen is on his way to a Hall of Fame career. I mean, look at what he's done numbers-wise. If you look, they've been in the playoffs pretty much every year, been to the finals, and if they win a championship this year, numbers will state, you know, he's going to be a Hall of Fame player. So I don't think he's hurting at all. I mean, you got to see what he's accomplished. You see the contract he signed.
No, he got his money.
He's
$57 million a year.
He's been to multiple All-Star teams. Right now, he's giving you 26. Yeah, he's in the shadow of Jason, but I think he just wants to win a championship, and I don't think.
But you would agree, Jason is widely regarded as sort of the face of the franchise and the best player.
Yeah, well, yes, he's regarded. I mean, the numbers they stated. I mean, Jason has more marketing deals, a shoe. Yeah. He has commercials with different products. I mean, rightfully so. But I think Jaylen's fine. He's fine. I mean, look at the contract he just signed. Skip. What is he? Yeah. What is he envious about? I don't think so.
Okay, but clearly, I'm going to reread that line that you just said.
Let's hear it.
I watch guys get praised and anointed that I feel are half as talented as me on either side of the ball. Yeah. That's a mouthful, man. That means
sure
he's not real pleased with.
He wasn't talking about his teammate.
No, not his teammate. No, just around the league.
Around the league.
Yeah.
But
he does not get his acclaim for how good he is.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
We know what that's all about. You know, the Boston Celtics, regarded around the league, is a team that's one of the best and a stacked team this year. And I don't get it. You win 64 games and, you know, the accolades should be coming pouring in. You know, why Jason wasn't in more consideration for MVP? Why isn't Jaylen on an all-NBA team? I mean, you're the best team in basketball by far. It's not like Porzingis has been out there every game. He's missed a lot of games. Drew's missed games. Derek White's missed games. But Jaylen's been out there. He's played for the most part. And I don't get it either. But when they win the championship, Skip, all this noise will go away.
Well, and that's what he said with the first quote that we heard.
And that's all I think that matters to him.
Yeah.
You know, he's been in the league some time. He's done it all. All-Star game appearances, great contracts. What's left now? He wants to win a championship. So, you know, it pisses him off. And as NBA players, you use things for motivation. That was one of his motivations coming into last night.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not an all-NBA player? Really? Like, really, Skip? Like, it hurts me to look at these teams and say, oh, you got two Los Angeles Lakers on there who are a play-in team. And it's not a knock against them. These are guys that put up some good numbers. Yeah. But it's not only Lakers. There's Phoenix Suns. There's two players on the Phoenix Suns. And I just think when your team has the success that the Boston Celtics team has had during the regular season, when you win 64 games, you should be rewarded for that. And they weren't. They were.
Who you gonna take off though?
Listen, I don't care what you do, but a team with 64 wins, there's more than one player on that team.
Could it be that maybe they're looking at the conference and saying the conference was so light that the 64 wins was part of the reason because the conference?
I mean, we can look at the numbers on the 64 win because, I mean, the numbers speak. He should be all NBA.
The reason.
They won less games last year. Listen to this. They won less games last year, Skip. He made second team. So why now we won more games?
Yep.
And he doesn't make an all NBA because clearly, if Jason sits, he's capable of carrying the team. We know that. So I'm a little disappointed, and hopefully, you know, he continues to play inspiring basketball that leads the Boston Celtics possibly to a championship.
No. Before I jump into the Jaylen situation, because I got a bunch of different thoughts on that. If you look at the three teams, first, second, and third, there's only 4 people from the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
Everybody else is from the West. So I'm just saying maybe the voters
are
looking at it.
has to do because you got players that didn't meet the criteria either, Key. Because you had this year, they changed the criteria.
Okay, educate me then because I don't know.
Embiid didn't make it because he didn't play the required number of games.
The 65 games.
65 games. So there may be some on the list that
didn't play 65?
That didn't qualify, like Donovan Mitchell. He didn't qualify for the required.
He didn't play 65 games?
No.
Okay. So maybe that's the reason that the numbers are sharp from the Eastern Conference standpoint, which is a fair point. Now, as far as Jaylen go, he's made it before. He's got his $265 million. That would you say 57 a year?
Oh no, it's more than that.
Well, I know the average is 57.
57. Yeah. What did I say? One.
Or maybe it's this year he's making 57.
Is it three something? So he got his $300+ million.
He's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So at the end of the day, all we talking about is some accolades. Because if he make it again this year, what is that going to do for him?
This is legacy. This is legacy.
Do you want all NBA, or do you want to hold the Davey O'Brien Trophy?
I need all of that.
I need all of that. I asked you though, Paul, because his answer to that, what I just asked you, was he wants the trophy.
Yeah, he wants the
trophy. Even though he might be teed off at the way that he's being treated by the voters and the people that probably don't even know what they're looking at, which I agree with him. I'm one of the best two-way players in the game. I'm watching these dudes. These dudes ain't me.
Right.
My contract speaks to who I am.
Yeah, the Celtics said that's who you are.
That's who you are. My contract speaks to that.
Yeah.
So to sit around and worry about an accolade that doesn't really matter at this point in time in his career, like he said, it ain't. What is it, Skip? It's okay. Some bragging rights. It's some bragging rights.
As a competitor, Key, you played the game. You want to be recognized for your efforts.
But I also understand the people that's doing the recognition and recognizing don't know what the hell they're looking at. Clearly. He understands that when you are a competitor and you got the fire and all those sort of things in you, the way he does, the way you had, the way I had, at some point we realize, man, that dude don't know what he's looking at. Right. They gave him the power in the pen to decide whether or not I'm a good player. I can't carry that every year hoping and praying that this individual writes in his box, it's for me, Skip. You can't do that. I got to worry about my team. I got my money. Now I just need my championship. So you say, well, living in the shadows of, Skip, that's the original question of Jason Tatum. They anointed Jason Tatum.
They did.
The Celtics said, hey, you're our guy. They could have very easily said Jaylen Brown's the guy, and then Jason Tatum would be in the conversation of who's in the shadow. Every single team. I don't know one team that got 2 stars. I don't know one team that got 2 stars. And when I mean by stars, I'm talking about everything that Jason Tatum gets. There's not a team that got 2. When LeBron was in Cleveland, it was all about LeBron. You had a star in Kyrie Irving, but it was about LeBron. When we was here in the Lakers and Magic, we had Kareem and Worthy, but it was about Magic.
Okay.
In Golden State, they had KD and Steph and Clay, but it's about Steph. Even though KD won the MVPs, you're not going to get 2 faces of an organization. It's just not going to happen. It's just not.
This is about reputation, and it matters to him because it hurts him to his soul that the world is not seeing him as Jason's equal or better than a whole lot of players who made first, second, and third team. And I mean first team. He's looking at some first teamers thinking, what? He's looking at his teammate. He's not going to say this publicly because he handles this beautifully. But he's looking at his teammate saying, hey, I'm better than him.
Look.
Thank you.
But I didn't want to put Paul out there like that because he's a Celtic. But I'm with you, Skip.
Yeah.
As soon as he said better than, I play both ends. So I just was like, okay, I get it.
Jason Tatum made first team All-NBA, and I got no problem with that. But deep down, Jaylen does. And that's why he's as great as he is. And he is great. And I don't toss that word around. I keep making the case. I keep telling you, when I'm rooting against you guys, he scares me a little more than Jason does. But that's to take nothing away from Jason. He is really good. He's bigger than Jaylen. He's longer than Jaylen. He does a lot of great things. But listen, Jaylen Brown last night was a force of nature. He said, we ain't losing a game 2 at home. Not at all. And I'm going to show you who should be first team
After
All-NBA.
Knocking down the shot to put him in overtime.
He saved. That's a season saver. You can make a case.
No, I don't want to hear it. That was game 1.
Okay, but come on now.
Closed out.
Yeah, but if you're down 0-1 looking at game 2 at home.
A season saver.
I don't know.
A game saver. How about that? A game saver.
I think it's a season saver, but whatever. All right. So here's the point. The way the media is looking at this, the media clearly believes Jaylen is second fiddle to Jason. But when you look at the Lakers, you you look at LeBron and AD and you say, well, they're kind of the same, because you can make a case that LeBron had a better year than AD or vice versa. We always say, well, it's really AD's team, but LeBron was really good this year.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people are having a hard time differentiating between those two. Then you look at Phoenix and you say, well, KD's a little up there in age. Is Book better than KD or the other way around? But it's close. And so the media is saying, well, we can't have what was he, second team, Devin Booker? We can't have a second.
Book was third.
Was he third? Okay.
Yeah,
well, we
KD was
can't have an all-NBA first, second, or third with no Devin Booker. And so he's going to make it because he's really good. And he has a reputation for being really, really good. And yet, if you look hard at these careers of these two, remember, Jaylen, 1 year before Jason, was the third overall pick, and then Jason was the third overall pick. So it's not like Jaylen was a second-round pick. Right. He was the third overall pick.
But the organization anointed.
They did. They did.
Which is fine, because he's the dude. He's the guy.
He really is. And
he's
listen,
the guy.
The media anointed in part because Jason Tatum, I keep telling you this, I'm looking at it from a media perspective. He's the best post-game interview in all of sports. He is so good on the floor when he does the stand-ups. I was watching him last night. He's captivating me because he's open-hearted, he's willing, he's always accessible. He's a really good guy. You know him really well.
He's legit.
He is legit. And yet, when Jaylen speaks, you want to talk, he's went to Cal. He's smart, man. He's high IQ.
High IQ.
Yeah, but he's not as willing, and he can be a little more defensive. Jason's never really defensive.
What he's got, Skip, he's got more of an edge to him.
He's got edge.
Let's just call
and
it
he plays with the
He got a little more edge to him.
He got a little more aggressiveness to him.
does.
I call it edge, you know. I don't want to say aggressiveness. I want to use the right terms describing him. He just got a little more edge. He got some,
I can look back at Jaylen's draft. Ben Simmons went first and Brandon Ingram went second. I can make a case if you redraft it, you might be looking real hard. Now, when Ben Simmons was healthy and right, he was really good.
Yeah.
But listen, Brandon Ingram's been very good. But Jaylen Brown, if you really look hard at it, would he go first if you redrafted right now?
Definitely go first.
I think he'd go first.
Yeah, right now. Yeah, absolutely.
Ben Simmons doesn't even play.
Well, I know, but when he was right, he was, listen, he was a force.
He couldn't shoot, but he could play defense.
Could he? Oh, yeah. I mean, remember, he was the rookie of the year and made, 2 straight all-star teams. So anyway, but I think Jaylen goes first overall, okay? So then you look at what I told you yesterday. If you look at late and close situations, clutch time situations this past regular season, Jaylen made 50% of his shots and Jason made 36% of his shots. Okay, Jason's other stats across the board are a little better than Jaylen's, but clutch shots, Jaylen's been a little better, at least this past year, than Jason was.
Yeah.
Okay, so does he have a slight edge because he's got that clutch time edge?
Yeah, he got some edge.
Yeah.
Because when I say about the edge part of it, if you flipped it on its head, and Jason Tatum was at that podium speaking about being left off of the All-NBA team, you wouldn't have got the same answers. You just wouldn't have. You wouldn't have got the same. He wouldn't have said he don't give a blank. He just wouldn't have.
He went F-bomb. He went F-bomb. He did.
Because that's how his personality.
And by the way, that was being aired live, and it went F-bomb out there for all to hear. Yeah?
I think that's over with now. With press conferences, it's not the same as it was once before. You expect that to happen, but I don't think Jason Tatum would approach it the same way.
No.
You know, as Jaylen, because Jaylen's just a different. He approaches it different. He just got a different mentality.
Here's the beauty, though. You are so blessed to have the two of them.
Yeah.
And you are even more blessed because the 1A, Jaylen, accepts it. I mean, he doesn't like it. And so if you ask him a direct question about it, he's going to say, I don't love this. But what was the first thing out of his mouth? We are 2 games away from the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
So his priorities are correct, right? And he has accepted who Jason is and how he is viewed. And he lives with it. And if he didn't, if he made waves about it, if he clashed with him or if he made, little below-the-belt comments.
You can say the same thing about Kyrie his whole career.
Okay, Kyrie.
Because Kyrie was clearly a better offensive player than LeBron.
No doubt.
He was with LeBron, but he wasn't number one.
Yeah.
And it's a toss-up between him and Luka right now. I mean,
Sure.
as far as offensive player.
But
well, that happens
again,
in sports.
Dallas has
Something
anointed
you want to win a
Luka, so it ain't gonna be. It ain't gonna happen. The only way you trump Luka is if you are LeBron James going to Dallas.
That is true.
That's it.
I agree.
In sport, and you trying to win a championship. Something's got to give.
Of course.
Something has to give.
Okay,
I mean,
but Kyrie has made peace with Luka.
Yeah,
But he probably done made peace with himself and not really caring about all the unnecessary noise outside. If they make the trade for KD, for Jaylen Brown, and KD's in Boston, is it a different team now?
No.
Better or worse?
I think I don't know, it's tough because I like what Jaylen brings on the defensive end more so now. I mean, KD offensively is greater.
Yep.
You know, but I just like, you know, the younger guy who you can say, all right, we're going to put you on him. You know, KD would probably have to take a back seat to Jason just being Jason's younger. You know what I'm saying? And see, this is the reason I didn't think it worked out in Phoenix. I thought we didn't know who was the guy. You know, like, was KD the guy? Because he clearly had the guy ability, but Booker's younger. Is it his team? And I thought it was a fight over that every night.
Yep.
You know, whereas Brown has accepted, all right, I'm 1B. You know, Kyrie has accepted, I'm 1B. And look where these two teams are at today.
Look at them now.
Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Do you want more highlights from the show? Make sure to click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from Undisputed.